Spawning here in the top right position of Whirlwind, ladies and gentlemen, as the red Terran player representing Western Wolves. He won game number 1 but lost game 2. Let's find out if he can pull off the upset. He is Western Wolves Sting, playing very, very well. But he did just lose a game to one of the greatest players in StarCraft history. Spawning over here in the top left position as the blue Zerg player representing Team Evil Geniuses, we have JaeDong.
So, this is going to be important. This is the ace game.
I'm really, really looking forward to what these players are going to be doing here. We saw there are a wide variety of styles. We saw Sting go unbelievably aggressive early on. We saw Life, for example, go super aggressive against Todd as well. So these players are perfectly capable of going both macro and ridiculously heavy aggression in the early game, and they're happy to pick either one. But really, on this map, it has lent itself traditionally, especially in the GSL, to more macro-heavy games, because statistically that's basically the best, because it's harder to scout your opponent that early on, and that's what coaches tell their players and stuff like that as well. So when you get maps like Whirlwind in the map pool and 2 Koreans facing off against each other, I'm not really surprised, for example, to see the command center come down this early for Sting. I'm not surprised to see the hatch first come down from JaeDong, even less surprised, if you like, in the pool going down now. So I'm really eager to see how the mid game is going to evolve. Is JaeDong going to go for those mutas again that won him game number 2, where in game 1 he was struggling so much against the drops? There's a lot of less dead space here, but the map is considerably larger and there is more space in which to fly. I think it's still an option for him.
I think that's really good analysis and something we could definitely see coming down. But for the time being, though, Sting, he's going to be focusing economically. For all the reasons you pointed out, Whirlwind is a great macro map. Yes, he's got that one gas down, but it's perfectly normal timing. Going for that CC first, into the racks, into the gas. So nothing too out of control happening for the time being. And that just means that the mid-game could be really exciting. From these spawn positions, though, the Mutalisks can be incredibly irritating. Yes, you can get in there. And if the spawn positions were reversed, drops could be devastating because of that cliff area. So we'll wait to see how that influences whether Sting opts for some missile turrets around anywhere.
That's right. Yeah, on Whirlwind you tend to get some Zerg players expanding to this location here, but often you see them expanding in a line, but that's going to be significantly more difficult to do if expanding in a line means exposing your third base to a significantly shorter drop distance, like you mentioned, into the main here. So if JaeDong does end up taking that base, it's either because he wants the lava out so he can push through with an attack very, very quickly. He needs to be very aggressive with that. Otherwise, Sting can capitalize with those drops. That's a great point you make.
So, as we see, Zerging speed coming down factory with the reactor is all on the cards. Hellions, again, it's really standard play from Sting, getting a couple of Hellions out, although in the previous 2 games, he's only got 2. Hasn't really committed massively to them, favoured getting out either much more Bio or Hellbats. Which option will he go for this game? I'm leaning towards the Hellbat style play, just because that's what he was successful with in the first game.
Hellbat style play could certainly work. I mean, making sure that they're horizontal cross spawn as well. Okay, there isn't too much dead space, but there is enough to make both mutas and drops successful here. And with these spawning locations, an actual expansion is a little bit close to Sting's main. So we'll see if that is indeed what he opts to go for. And, well, we get pretty quick confirmation of that, because the armory is going down now in the southwest corner. Southeast, even.
Southeast.
Southeast.
Very accurate there. Now, of course, here we go. This is what's to be expected. I was really saying, yeah, armory going to be coming down soon. It's all nice. JaeDong, he's getting his 3rd hatch up.
Oh, he's sacrificing a lane. JaeDong's actually going to come up here and try and get a full scale. He does see the starport as well, by the way. Just going up and he clicked on it as well, just to double check. Very, very good. And I think that was worth 3 lanes, definitely. He doesn't see the armory in the back, like you mentioned.
That'd be the only extra thing that if he scouted that, it would have been great. But JaeDong, he's already got the Rotoran coming down. He's got his 3rd hatch coming down. This SCV hasn't seen the hatch. Okay, Sting.
How confused is Sting right now? I think he suspects he's going, hang on a second, I didn't actually go as far into the top left as I wanted to, so yes, he will be able to see it now. But the initial scouting SCV, you're right, didn't actually see the Zerg there, but now that the creep is being spread, there is absolutely no lingering doubt that JaeDong is in the top left corner, so we resume as normal. No big deal.
Now we do see that those Hellions are just going to push back some of those creep tumors before they're able to get cancelled, and now heading straight into the natural base. There's not much to defend here. Drones don't line up. Drones. Roaches
Perfect
popping.
timing for those roaches to pop. That was absolutely clutch timing. Number of workers killed 3 at the moment. Can he get a couple more with these Hellions? Just about able to here, barbecuing as many of these drones as he physically can, and the roaches coming in to clear up. Number of workers killed at the moment 7. Not too bad. What clutch timing on those roaches coming out there. Otherwise, those Hellions could have gotten another 7 or 8 kills.
Now, that isn't all lost though. Even though there wasn't too many kills down on the drones, what Sting was able to accomplish was finding out whether the lair had been started.
He's going around these 2 overlords with the drop. That's so smart from Sting as well.
Yep, it's going to come completely unexpected, but roaches are still there, boosting in, and unfortunately they're going to be met by those roaches. But a couple of drones go down nonetheless.
Yep, up to 11 workers killed so far this game. Definitely not an entire loss from Sting there. Wants to constantly try and harass more and more, see if he can get under the skin of that economy, and a second medevac coming out now as well. He's coming out a bit before heading up north towards the top of the map, so he's trying to bypass typical overlord positions. I'm not sure about this one though, because he's basically going via the center. He has held the watchtower with the SCV, but there are a lot of overlords positioned around here that could see Sting's drop, and number 1 is already going to check it out.
I think that's a good point to make. There are so many overlords. The actual overlord spread is really quite nice to get.
I want to see a Viking from our Terran player. Actually.
One
just a
Viking.
single Viking.
I always like seeing that from a Terran player. But yeah, 1-1 upgrades coming down here for JaeDong, and he's getting his lair, but it's a really quite late lair.
Oh, these lings are genuinely being donated as Hellbat food right there. Needs to be very careful. Good pick up there with the Spore Crawler, but JaeDong does know he's now inside the main base. They're actually going to waddle towards the... He's going to waddle towards the drone line, and yeah, he doesn't notice for a little bit. Managing to get a couple of workers killed, mainly on gas. And it looks like the medevac has gone down, and these Hellbats will get cleared up, but not before they get relatively close to those drones. 16 workers killed so far, and another drop at the 3rd, picking off a couple more, but not that many.
And it's just, this is really reminiscent of Game 1, except the big difference is, while Sting isn't doing much, he's still being aggressive, but unfortunately, he is losing those drops, which is something that he wasn't doing in Game 1. He's keeping them alive for a long period of time, which made it actually alright. That's
a great point, actually. Yeah, he was keeping his units alive so long in game number 1, and he wasn't doing that here. The Spore Crawlers have gone down early. Note, though, that JaeDong does have a relatively late lair, by the way. It's only just completed, and he's getting his Baneling Nest up now as well, but there is no sign of a Spire in sight. So we're going to be going for a different style once again. We'll see if it could work for him on Whirlwind, but these drops did a lot of damage, and it looks like we have another small force killing off the creatures in the center of the map here. I love this from Sting.
And now what really does JaeDong have to defend against this? He's making a lot of roaches, but these Marauders heading straight up towards the 3rd base. This 3rd hatchery is quite essential to JaeDong, and he needs to make sure it stays up. These additional reinforcing roaches are going to be essential. The Hellbat's getting picked up, and now are they going to get dropped down? Yes, they do. Okay.
Oh, and the medevac getting picked up.
Drones, don't attack the Hellbat drones.
Ooh, 1 hit. 1 hit, 2 hit, red hit, blue hit. And it looks like a couple of those drones going down. Not a huge amount, but 26 in total for the game is a substantial amount. And while Sting has been doing a lot of damage to JaeDong, guys, like Maddle said earlier, the big problem, as the group is getting cleared away now for the 3rd command center, because the 4th hatchery is about to go down here. The big problem is that Sting isn't actually retaining his drops right now, and all these SCVs and Marines are their lives are basically forfeit right now. He needs to run very quickly with those SCVs indeed. Here come the reinforcing army, and the 3rd will be able to land.
Yeah, this 3rd going down is really important. He's got to stay up. The Marauders doing a nice amount of damage. SCV is coming to prevent the retreat, but that means that these Zerglings coming down from the back. And
every time I see Zerglings attempt to surround Hellbats, I cringe a little, because I'm just waiting for that one shot that annihilates all of them. JaeDong trying to delay that a little bit. Did manage to get a couple of SCV kills. He's up to 8 now this game.
Sting, though, a lot more.
Yeah, Sting a lot more, but let's not forget the current worker supply. JaeDong already has 74 workers, even with those drones killed a little bit earlier on. 68 at the moment for Sting, so both players on a decent economy. Sting, though, currently supply blocked to approximately high heaven and back, and only just now starting that supply deep. But that's going to hurt him a little bit. JaeDong up to 130 supply and climbing, so this is his chance to get a little bit of a lead.
So, as we've got now, we've got the red Terran player on his way across the map. Sting, he's actually got quite a sizable number of forces now. And as these come into the roaches at the watchtower, there isn't enough to defend against that. But seeing it, JaeDong runs right away.
Yeah, he's running away, and he's actually pulling this army away from the rest of his bases. He wants to not only get these saturated, but he needs to buy himself time right now to get the units he needs to defend against this large army. And Sting recognizes this, actually. JaeDong showing the roaches to him once again, just making sure Sting is still following him around. And yes, okay, there will be an eventual attack here, but look at this, more reinforcing roaches. JaeDong might end up doing a bit of a sandwich.
And if he does manage to get these roaches, it would be a big loss. Reinforcements are trying to come in from the top position. The big thing I'm noticing, though, Josa, is that JaeDong does not have a Spire.
No, he doesn't. He's not going for the Spire attack again. And as a result, Sting not really feeling the pressure now, but he will be in just a second. Coming from 3 directions is JaeDong. This is fantastic stuff. But the medevac's picking up 3 full, and he is able to comfortably get away, and oh, he might even deny this space if he's fast enough. JaeDong trying to divert some of those roaches and banelings over. Is it going to be enough?
Oh, smart move. He's going to go up to
straight in.
He may even go straight to the main.
There's just, this dead space is now Sting's 2 command right now, and you're right, without that Spire, it's very frustrating for JaeDong. He needs to work out where this army is going and constantly react to it. This is all, and we have once again those Zerglings surrounding Hellbats. That is not a good situation. He's now going to be...
Oh, but look at this push into the natural Jorisar. This is JaeDong just saying, well, if you attack me, I'm going to attack you hard. But the main base of JaeDong is actually getting dropped pretty darn hard. And there's the lair. It's taking a lot of damage from orders. Probably going to be able to take this down. Not much to defend. The third base of Sting is staying up for the moment. And there's the lair falling. That is not what JaeDong would have wanted, but he's going to go for the counter push.
He needs to save the medevacs as well, at least boost him to come back home. JaeDong, now with the counter push around the natural expansion, he's also trying to pick apart this third base as well. No SCV building this command center, but aside from that, not actually that much damage done right now. Sting at 156 supply versus JaeDong's 174, but JaeDong pressing forward. His army is of a fearsome size. Currently 98 supply, 287 right now. JaeDong with a +2 armor on his units, and Sting at the moment with 2-1. So there's a slight upgrade advantage for Terran, but JaeDong swarming forward.
He is. There's also 21 Banelings morphing in. The reinforcements need to come in for Sting very quickly. He's got to make a stand here. If those Banelings get good connections, it could be devastating.
Great repair on the bunker, and that might be it for that. But hang on, JaeDong coming through with approximately a metric ton of Banelings here. Wow, so many of them explode before actually getting anywhere near the bio. Those splits were fantastic from Sting. Great target firing, but the bunker is going down. Sting looking like he's just going to be able to hold 135 supply to 127, and JaeDong is repelled back.
And of course, this is after JaeDong lost his lair. That was a really critical point. But he does still have the 4th base. Sting mining with 3 bases there. Income-wise, JaeDong getting slightly more gas. Sting relatively equal on the minerals. In terms of supply, though, near identical.
Yeah, this is an incredibly close game between these guys, and a very important one as well. The winner of this game could well top their group, but that is definitely not a given since this is Group Stage 3, and every single player is an absolute monster. But JaeDong, ooh, very nice pickup there. JaeDong was about to get some really, really good Baneling hits off, and he's trying to lead them through a couple of the Widow Mines. Not quite there.
This is Sting just trying to take control of this game, and he's doing a nice job of it. He knows that he caused a lot of pain to the Zerg player. And
These
now,
overlords,
yes,
this
overlords.
wall
Oh,
over
look
here.
at that. Lots of Banelings trying to get in. Not too many workers died there,
Not
though.
that many, no.
A couple did, but not a huge number.
And I still want to see a Viking take apart these overlords so that Sting can continue with drops going into the later game, because we simply don't see that Spire play out of JaeDong on this map. So Sting should really try and make those work instead. JaeDong now is going to be finishing up his infestation pit, so a little bit of a late tech here, but let's see how he does. I mean, this is...
Burrow Banelings! Oh, be so careful!
Did you see those, Burrow?
No, I don't think he did. They're getting so close. This
God.
could be bad. He's going straight over it. JaeDong does get the detonation, but
That wasn't as good as I thought it would be, actually.
No, it was just a couple of cells out, but now more Banelings rolling in. Sting has got to be careful. He has not won this game yet. JaeDong pushing forward. He is annihilating this infantry, but from the north position, we do see them more coming in. The 4th base is getting dropped. This is exactly what Sting needs to be doing. He's pushing back this little attack. He has still got the map dominance, and that 4th base is taking some good damage.
JaeDong is down to 126 supply versus the 178 for Sting. He's 50 supply ahead, and now he's marching forward through the middle of the map. He's scanning, taking out these creep tubes as well. JaeDong's map dominance is disappearing quickly. He does manage to save the 4th base, but at what cost? Look at these Widow Mines getting into fantastic positions there. And JaeDong, he does have the Overseer with this army, but this bio is going to mean that we will get decent hits off on these Widow Mines, and Sting is pushing it. He's now maxed out, and JaeDong is in danger of dropping below 100 supply.
And that is really the danger mark. If this hatch goes down, which it most likely will, the 4th has had so many drones killed. things not looking good for the Evil Geniuses player right now. Western Wolves will be cheering Sting. There we go.
GG, and Sting takes the series victory 2-1 over Evil Geniuses.